Exotic landscapes, inexplicable and simply astonishing. Climbing, walking, paddling through the mangroves, and sometimes just finding yourself in the Atlantic Ocean. History, people, food, and rich culture. Crossing the horizons to find nature away from civilization. This is Storybird Discovery Eye. Slave History Museum, the dark era that can't be wished away. On today's episode of Storybird Discovery Eye, we explored the Calabar Slave Trade Museum. This is one of the hugest points where slave trade happened. Where we are right now was known as the barracoon. A barracoon is an enclosure in which the slaves were confined for a period before they were shipped by the slave dealers to parts of the world where they were sold to white men. Calabar was a part of the Bight of Biafra before the amalgamation of the Southern and Northern Protectorate into what we now know as Nigeria. History had it that slave trading in Calabar relied upon raiding and trading, mainly carried out in the hinterlands, where the slaves were largely captives of intertribal wars or stolen from the interior villages, or sometimes sold by their parents in the hope that they might find a more profitable life elsewhere. So we made our way into the museum. Yes, it came with a price, as we paid 500 naira per person. We were asked not to neither make videos nor take pictures, but at a point we were allowed to. So we are bringing you the match we saw there. The starting point was a mini cinema where an 18-minute video detailing everything which happened during the transatlantic slave in Calabar was supposed to be shown to us. Unfortunately, we saw nothing, and understandably so, because the price of fuel at the period we visited was no child's play. So they were trying to optimize the low resources they have. That's Nigeria for you. So we were shown a carved depiction of how the slaves who were captured and kept in the barracoon were arranged in ships and transported to Europe. The weak, the dead, and the sick were thrown out during the journeys. And during storms, a number of the slaves were thrown into the sea in order to lighten the ships, and they were eaten by sharks. Slaves were bought with manilas, cowries, gin, mirrors, copper rods, and anything of worth. Dane guns of different sizes were gifted to the local chiefs in exchange for slaves. When the chiefs give 10 slaves to the white men, they get 1 Dane gun as appreciation. The captured slaves were examined for strength. It is believed that anyone with big teeth and single bone had strength for work, so those ones were made to work in the sugarcane, cotton, or tobacco plantations. But those with smaller dentitions and light bones worked in the homes of the Europeans. We saw the chains and shackles where the slaves were put in for onward transportation to Essekumba, which was also known as the point of no return. The market still sells till date, and it is the only trade by barter market in Nigeria. We saw pictures of the foremost slave traders and the pictures of those who fought so hard to abolish the slave trade.
Some bring pregnant women and sick men, and some cannot talk, deaf and dumb. Okay. So by the time they come out, we say, no, it's not my own. So the white man came with this. So they will just give the mark at the back. So it's for you to identify your slaves.
Then you said that they weighed the slaves.
Yes, they weighed them.
Where was
there was a scale connected here.
Okay, a scale was connected to this hook up here.
Yes, it was connected to this hook up here. Scale was being connected here. So
okay, this chain was used.
Yes, the scale was there. Yes, they weighed it. The scale was, the slaves were weighed like chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, you just carry them and put them from there. Some weigh palm oil, some weigh dry.
It is worthy to note that the present-day Nigerians were the most victims of the slave trade in Africa. Official records from 1690 to 1807 shows that Nigerian slaves accounted for 41.4% of the total number of slaves traded during the Dark Era. These slaves took their culture to where they settled after the slave trade was abolished. From research conducted so far, most of the slaves that came from Calabar axis were settled in Cuba. The music, dance, and masquerades in Cuba are 80% similar to the Calabar culture. We should also note that there were metaphysical aspects of the transatlantic slave trade. The local chiefs used skin-covered oracle rings to ensnare slaves. There was resistance too, like the people of Arochukwu in present-day Abia State resisted slave traders and sometimes killed the white men. But when caught, they were tied to the branches of trees and flogged till death. The depiction of the Dark Era was a mournful and somber. It showed where the slaves were taken, transported, auctioned, branded, exacted at the plantations, and when laws were enacted to set them free. The transatlantic slave trade was indeed a dark era in the history of the continent. We found it illogical and dense that brothers could sell their kingsmen for a bottle of gin, or mirrors that is as common as gravel sand. As we explored the Marina Resort and stared into the calm emerald waters of Calabar River, we couldn't help but ruminate a time when injustice and inhumanity reigned supreme. We may be physically free from slave trade, but our psychology in Africa is still very much wrapped to the infamy of this era. After then, we sailed to the adjoining island where the noble missionary Mary Slessor hid twins she rescued, where they were left to die in the evil forest. We celebrate a foreigner who was benevolent enough so as to save infants who had been condemned to death by their own kingsmen. Come with us. Thank you for watching Storybird Discovery Eye. Please like, comment, share, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye.